Hello everyone, and welcome back to another week of Huddle Up. I'm Melissa Majewski. Our guests this week are Sean O'Connor and Coach Cam. This is Huddle Up, and we'll be right back after this break. Hello everyone, and with us today we have Coach Cam and Sean. Hi guys, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Doing great.
That's good. So Spotswood had beaten South River last Saturday 44-7. Do you think this game was easy?
It was close early on, but it got easier. You know, when you play good defense, it gets easy.
How does it feel to beat South River again this year?
It feels great. 4 times last 8 years, and second time over there. And anytime you can clear out their home stands by the third quarter, you're doing something right.
What are you like after a win?
A lot easier to deal with than after a loss. You know, I got to say, Saturday was the most rewarding feeling of the whole year. Despite their record, we played our best game in terms of, you know, aligning and executing and all facets of the game coming together. So I was very happy.
Do you think that the players play differently when they're at a away game?
Yeah, I've wondered this. I think sometimes at home there's some more distractions because it is exciting to be at home, and there is this kind of feeling of like the atmosphere more than the task at hand. But I don't think it makes a difference. I think they like playing the game either way.
So since it's getting colder outside, does it affect the way the players play during a practice or a game?
No, but I got to remind people who aren't in to like stay focused on going in instead of staying warm. But you know, it's like it's football weather. I'd rather do this than practice in August.
So do you think they prefer to play in warm or cold temperature?
If I had to bet, I would say most players like to play in warm weather because they're in shape anyway. It doesn't really affect them. I'd rather play in cold weather, to be honest with you.
Do you think that the practices are getting harder since the season is almost over?
It's weird because every year, you know, you want to like crank it up and like do more. But the reality is you should be able to maintain where you're at and get better at what you've already done. So the practices tend to get a little shorter just because I shouldn't have to, you know, do something 3 times in a row. The defense shouldn't have to repeat a play 3 times in a row. Because we make a mistake, we repeat it until we get it right. So actually, I find the practices pick up pace now.
So Spotswood had won against Keyport last year 27-0. How will you win against them again this year?
Oh, same recipe. We have to defend their run first. They're run heavy. Last year we defended the run, forced them to throw. We had 2 interceptions, and we overcome mistakes on offense. We scored on special teams last year. So what we're really hoping is the same recipe. Saturday we got to defend the run, execute on offense, and get a special team score.
So there's 3 games left in the season. Which of these next 3 games are you looking to play?
I try to preach to the guys to just enjoy each week because it's funny. The start of the season, you're all excited about the start, and you got all these expectations. Then you're in the thick of the season, and there's always a little bit of panic, like, oh my God, are we doing the right things? Are we going to be okay? How's it going to turn out? But then I remember being a senior and thinking, like, uh-oh, it's almost over. Oh no, you know, and where did it go? So instead of worrying about the whole picture, we try to just take it day by day and week by week. We're going to worry about Keyport now. We have some Blue Division opponents coming up, you know, and if we do what we're supposed to do, we'll have big games down the road.
So since the season is almost over, what do you expect out of the players?
I want them to enjoy it, and I want them to get out there and work hard and enjoy the work, you know, because when you're a kid, practice can get boring. It's something. Look, if you do something every day, it gets boring. You know, third period algebra every day gets boring. But I want them to enjoy football because I always tell them it's going to be February and you're going to miss it. You're going to be 30 years old and you're going to miss it. It's going to be your sophomore year of college and you're going to miss it. So I just try to keep them going and keep it light. And you know, hey, when you're 4-2 and you got games to play and a chance to have a great record, it's easy to get motivated.
So right now, Spotswood is still number 3 in the GMC Blue standings. What will you do the last 3 games to get the title?
You know, it's interesting because Middlesex and Metuchen are so much different style-wise that it's like you don't get a lot of overlap in terms of what you prepare for. So when we get ready for Middlesex, a lot of the things we do against them will not help against Metuchen. But we'll try as best we can to keep, you know, the continuity. And the cool thing is we just visualize it as a playoff. Like, all right, you beat Middlesex, you got a title game against Metuchen. And when you got those kind of simple terms, you don't have to worry about ties, you don't have to worry about tiebreakers, you don't have to worry about PowerPoints. You know what you got. It makes it easier to prepare.
Also, Spotswood is number 6 in the Central Jersey Group 2 standings. What will you do to get to at least the top 3?
Well, we have an uphill battle because we have an extra game we've already played on a couple of the top seeds. So, like, we've played 6 games, and a lot of the top seeds have played 5. So what's going to happen is our point level is going to level out, and they're going to get an extra game on us. Honestly, I mean, it's an expectation to get in and to win a playoff game and to advance and to win a state title. It's always something we talk about. But I got to keep things small right now, and basically, if we win out the rest of our schedule, we have a shot to get in the playoffs. So we're going to keep it focused on these next 3 weeks, and because the playoffs are crazy. Like, last year, we thought we were going to be a certain seed, and then we weren't, and then who had a tiebreaker and who had an upset. It really gets wild. It's fun. I mean, it's fun to sit there on Saturday night and check the scores and see who won what, but we can't control a lot of it. So ultimately, we're going to try to worry about the next 3 weeks, and that might dictate a playoff game.
What will we have to do the next 3 games to get into the playoffs?
I think if we keep the balance we had on offense Saturday, with Sean throwing and us running, that's going to help. We were really one-dimensional last year, and we were able to do that, but we can be balanced. I think that's important. Our special teams played much better on Saturday. That's going to help us. And our defense has been consistent, but good defense can get boring too. You just line up, you make the plays, you line up, make the plays. So we don't want to get cocky. We want to keep the recipe the same and keep the offensive production going, and then we should be all right.
So, Sean, how did you work your way up to be quarterback of the team?
I think it was more just my brother being quarterback just a few years ago, and then whatever position came was going to throw me in a freshman year. I was going to perform as well as I could.
Is there a lot of pressure being a quarterback?
I think it's really just the same as any other position. I mean, the O-linemen have pressure, the backs have pressure, wideouts have pressure to catch the ball, so I mean, it's really just all the same.
So you had torn your ACL your sophomore year. How did that affect the way you played your junior year to now?
I think it made me work harder junior and senior year this year because I knew I couldn't take anything for granted because it'd get taken away from me like that. So, I mean, just work hard every day.
How have you improved since the beginning of the season?
I think I'm getting more trust in our wideouts and our backs and catching the ball, and then the reads I make on the field, just all around better.
Are you planning to play football in college?
I am. I'm currently trying, being recruited.
Is there any schools that had come to the games or talked to you yet?
Yeah, I've been in talks with a couple schools like Rowan and Moravian, Pennsylvania.
Is there any specific school you would like to play for?
No, not really. I mean, whoever wants me, wants me.
So last Saturday, like I said, Spotswood had beaten South River. What was it like to play against Spotswood's rival?
It's great. I mean, every time you get a rivalry game, it's just the emotions are everywhere, and it's just a great game to be in.
How does it feel to beat South River again this year?
It feels great. We've set 2 history markers this year, beating them 2 years in a row, and then biggest win margin. So I mean, it's great to be a part of that.
What do you think the outcome of this week's game against Keyport will be?
If we do what we got to do and execute, we should win. I mean, it should be the same every week because we got a bunch of great guys and great athletes on both sides of the ball.
How will you prepare for this week's game?
Just like any other game, just practice hard every day of the week, and then Saturday come out ready to play.
In your opinion, what are the practices like for you?
You can say what you want. Go ahead.
They're tough. I mean, even if they don't seem like it, they're tough. If we mess up, we got to keep doing it and keep doing it because we work for perfection, and it's something we don't always get it, and we just got to keep working for it.
So what is it like having Cam as your coach?
It's great. I mean, he's a great coach and great teacher too, and I mean, he knows what he's talking about on both sides of the ball. So I mean, it's great to be coaching them in high school.
How do you think he prepares the team before a game?
I mean, he really knows how to just get us fired up right before we go out in the locker room. So I mean, it's great.
How does he help the team improve for a big game?
He knows when we mess up, and he demands perfection as well. So when we mess up, he knows how to get us right, and then that just makes us better in the long run.
And lastly, what is your favorite thing about playing football?
I think the favorite part is just getting to go on the field with your best friends and just playing, just scoring, getting happy, making big hits on people. Nothing better.
So, Cam, do you think that Sean was prepared for the game against South River?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was his best game yet. Played really well against Homedale, and the things we did against Homedale, we brought and just continued on against South River. And, you know, if we were stubborn and said, no, we're not going to throw it, we would have made the game a lot closer. But we trusted him, and he made us look good by delivering the ball. And it's not easy. Everybody wants to throw. It's not easy. You know, hitting a moving target is not easy. And as much as it's fun and it looks easy in the pros, it's something you really have to work on. And he worked on it and performed.
How has he improved since the beginning of the season?
I think that, like he said, he's confident now in who he's throwing to, and that's important. It's something you could say as a coach, no, you got to be confident in everybody, but it's developed, you know. So he knows he can wing it out there to Derek, and he's gonna get yards. He knows he can throw to the backs, and they're gonna catch it and get yards. He knows the receivers are gonna run the right route, and there's a trust level there. You know, it's like I think that's one of the biggest things is the ability to just deliver the ball and be confident, and he doesn't get down on himself. He's positive, he's consistent, he's smooth, and that's what you need. You don't need a rah-rah guy at quarterback, and you don't need, you know, Charlie Brown being all, you know, good grief either. So he's come a long way.
How will he help the team in getting the Blue Division title?
Well, I think he's very versatile, and we haven't run him much because we either didn't have to or we had to throw. But he's very versatile, and I think with his legs, he could be a real X factor down the line. Also, you know, when you play big games at the end and you've had experience, there's a confidence level there. You know, last year our biggest game might have been game one. We didn't know it. It was game one. Having big games down the road, he'll be confident in what we're doing, and we're not going to go and add, you know, a whole new playbook or anything. So he's got 3 weeks to continue to improve, and then after that, you know, sky's the limit.
Do you think that he will play college football?
Yeah, I think the best thing about Sean is he loves to lift weights. He's got very good grades, and those are two things. Like, everybody thinks it's on-field performance, and clearly he is performing. But there's a lot of guys who can perform on a football field. But are you going to work hard? Or are you going to go to class at college? Because every year, think of it like a crop. They bring in a whole crop of players, and those kids compete. And then the next year, they bring in a whole other crop of players to compete against the guys they just brought in. If you don't go to class and you don't work hard, you're going to end up getting clipped. And I think that's the best chance Sean has to play college football, is that I know he's going to do the work. And I know he's going to be there every day. And he's going to outclass 60% of the competition just on that. And performance-wise, I mean, this is his first year playing quarterback, really. He played sophomore year, he was injured sophomore year, and last year he played defense. So as a first-year guy to deliver the ball the way he is, it's outstanding. He's only going to get better.
Do you think that he has a lot of pressure on himself before a game?
I think that's natural because, as I say to the guys, you know, the moms in the stands can say what a bad pass looks like. Nobody knows if the right guard misses a block. Nobody really knows if the left defensive end gets hooked on a sweep. I mean, you can't see. You really can't tell. But everybody and their mom knows if the quarterback did not hit the receiver. So I think that's the hardest part of it. But on the flip side, when he's the man and he's completing passes, everybody knows who the quarterback is. You know, no one's saying, hey, left guard, nice block. You know, it may be unfair, but that's how it goes, and he handles it fine.
All right, well, that is all the time we have today on our show. Thank you guys for coming out, and we'll be right back after this break. Thank you everyone for watching this week, and thank you Coach Cam and Sean O'Connor for coming on the show today. Come support the Spotswood Chargers as they take on Keyport this Saturday at Keyport High School. This is Huddle Up, and we will see you next week.